So the next question to think about: what moment in my life made me feel most proud? Now, this is an important question. I mean, every question that I'm describing in this series of podcasts is important. This is a particularly important one. Why do I say that? Well, again, in my times of isolation, career isolation, whatever you want to call it, life isolation, those were times when I felt quite low. I wasn't necessarily speaking with people. I was kind of isolate myself from not just my family, but my friends and my work colleagues. And that, as I said, is a mistake. I mean, at least one of those groups of people I should have been really communicating with. I was just quite low, and things weren't really working out for me in the particular role that I'm thinking about now, those years ago. And I felt as though I wasn't, I suppose it was imposter syndrome. Yeah, when I look back on it now, it was imposter syndrome. I felt as though I shouldn't have been there. I felt as though I wasn't doing a good job. I felt a sense of worthlessness. Is that the word? Yeah, I felt a sense of a lack of self-worth, a lack of value. And when I look back now, I think to myself, wow, that's yeah. Because honestly, these podcasts that I'm recording now are just, I guess, me reflecting on things. So as I'm talking to you now, I'm thinking to myself, gosh, was I really that low at that particular time? And I suppose the answer was yes. But at the time, I didn't really sort of come to terms with that. I just kept going. Because I didn't really ask myself that first question that I put to you. I didn't ask myself, why am I feeling this way? I didn't ask myself that particular question. But yeah, I digress slightly. But the question that we're focusing on at the moment is what moment in my life made me feel most proud? And it's important to think about that question. And I didn't think that back then because, as I said before, I wasn't confident in myself. So when I ask myself that question now, in my moments where I feel a lack of confidence, it helps me to realize and to remind myself the value that I really have in the world. And it helps me to really understand that I can make an impact on people's lives, or I can do things that I thought that I couldn't do. And this might sound really silly. I don't know if it does sound silly, but one of the proudest moments of my life was when I passed my driving test. Because at that time, I just didn't believe. I don't know why. I'd been driving for years. I just lacked confidence in myself to pass my driving test. But when I passed my test, I felt on top of the world. And maybe that's because, like I said, I didn't think I could do it, or at least I wasn't the most confident of being able to do it. But also because for me, what it represented being able to have a bit of my own freedom and not having to drive around on a provisional license with my mom. So that was one of the moments that made me feel proud. I mean, when I fast forwarded to today, one of the moments that make me proud today is one particular client I had who gave me a bit of feedback, unexpected feedback from one of our coaching. Yeah, well, we've been on this coaching for a few weeks and months, and she confessed to being in a really dark place, which until she got the job of her dreams, I didn't realize that. But it was just our interactions, our conversations that really, I guess, when I look back on it now, inspired her, kept her going. She didn't have anybody else to talk to about the way she was feeling. She didn't want to talk to her husband because she didn't want to burden her husband. She didn't want to talk to she didn't want to talk to the I don't know, other people. She felt like she's being a burden to them. So I was her sounding board. I was the one that really helped her through that particular, or helped her out of that dark place. And that, receiving that feedback and having her get into the job of her dreams, it's probably one of the things that stays with me. It really does. Because over the years I've realized what it can be to be in a job, in a role, in a career, on a path is fulfilling, is linked to your purpose. I've realized the power of that and the effect it can have on not just on your pocket, on your bank balance, but on your life as a whole, and therefore on the people around you as well. So yeah, that's just coming to focus more and more, and it just makes me even more proud to kind of be able to help people to move from their feelings of despair, of darkness, of isolation, to fulfillment and pride and hope, and sort of just making progress. So yeah, that keeps me going. That really, even now I can feel myself just warming up inside to those feelings. So yeah, what you need to do now is just think about, look, even if you've got your resume in front of you, to kind of remind you, to trigger some things in your head, so that you can understand the moments that made you feel most proud. Even, it doesn't have to necessarily just be your career. It could be anything that gives you joy and pride, because you have value that you have to share with other people. You're there. You're here for a reason. I believe that, and your thing, in inverted commas, is waiting for you. You've got to find that thing. You've got to take the step towards whatever that thing may be. So yeah, get your pen, get your journal, your notebook, and write down what moment in my life made me feel most proud, and just write down a few things.